and welcome to another episode of Off the Leash, brought to you by the Racing Post in association with Premier Greyhound Racing. And what a week, probably the busiest week of Greyhound racing this week for Category 1 action. We're kicking off all over the place. As ever, Tony Bullen joins us, the open race correspondent of the Racing Post. And are you finding time to eat and sleep this week, Tony? You've got to price all this stuff up.
Yeah, just about. I mean, it's absolutely congested. I mean, it's a shame, really, because you've got certain bitches or dogs that sport for choice, but you can only pick one event to take in. So that's how congested the calendar's become this month.
Indeed, yes. Just to run through what is actually coming up this week. Friday night is chock-a-block. We've got first round heats of both the £20,000 Premier Greyhound Racing Champion Stakes at Romford and the £20,000 Premier Greyhound Racing Oaks, the Bitches Classic, which is at, of course, Dunstall Park. First Category 1 ever in the history of the Wolverhampton circuit. Again, Dunstall Park is the Greyhound track inside Wolverhampton Racecourse, so we're very much looking forward to that. Then on Saturday night, we've got the £20,000 Premier Greyhound Racing Kent Derby getting underway, which features the Derby champion Droopy's Plunge. And then on Sunday, which the time of recording this, the draw's not even been done yet, the first round heats of the £11,500 Bresbet Steel City Cup, the biggest race of the year up at Sheffield. So yeah, we're going to tackle as much of it as we can. We're going to focus on the heats of the Champion Stakes at Romford. Betting is out for those heats. The draw is, of course, out. Then we'll have a look at the outright for the Oaks and the Kent Derby. And then I'll, again, show Tony how it's done with the best bets of the week. I did the business last week. You not so much so, but we're dovetailing quite nicely, Tony. So I'll let you have a go this week. Hopefully you can produce the goods. But outright selections as well across the board. And do get involved with us here on Off the Leash. We'd love to hear from you, whether you're watching us on the Racing Post YouTube channel or on Racing Post Facebook for the Greyhounds as well. It'll be up there. You'll see clips of it, but the main show we're going to chuck on the Facebook page as well. So get involved. Let us know who you fancy. What are your thoughts? Are you like me and Tony, a little bit jaded, shall we say, coming into this already, scratching our heads of the scheduling here? It's a bit of a shame that, you know, these competitions are clashing. There's certainly dogs that could have been running in both the Steel City Cup and the Kent Derby. But we will press on then, shall we? Friday night, the action. We're over the 575 at Romford. Of course, Tony, speed and stamina required here.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think course knowledge is massive as well. Dogs that are familiar with a track. I mean, how many times have we seen locals go deep or even cause an upset? So it just goes to prove that Romford experience is quite huge, not necessarily times.
Yeah, right. Well, let's dive straight into heat number 1 then. This will be the 8:19 at Romford on Friday night. There are 6 first round heats. It's got heats of the guys and dolls before this as well. So it is a brilliant card at Romford on Friday night. £20,000 Champion Stakes, heat 1. Infield Fifi 7-1, Fabulous Cynic 6-4, Teddy 5-1, Chili Drago 14s, Princess Matilda 12s, and Tiffield Tarquin 6-4. Prices are out there. Fair play to Labrooks and Corals who have priced up outright and heat betting for this competition. Right, Tony, let's have a look at this year's Coronation Cup final then, which Fabulous Cynic did the business in. She's, of course, here in Trap 2. In the final, she was in 4. We've also got the third in here as well, Teddy in Trap 3, who, again, goes in the white jacket. And Teddy's a bitch I like, particularly drawn off the fence. I do think there is a big run in Teddy, 5-1 for this heat. But this was the Coronation Cup final. You know what you get with Fabulous Cynic. We know she's going to trap, she's going to fly to the corner, and she's going to try to make all.
Yeah, she's a jealous type as well. I mean, if you look at her CV, you'd have to say that her best performances have been at Romford. That she's done well on her travels as well. But if you look at her card, Romford, she just excels at Romford. And I think she just likes the hustle and bustle as well. When she gets to the front, she sort of keeps digging out when she feels them challenging on her heels. And she's a real credit to Connections. I mean, she's only 8 races away from joining the 100 Club. 37 wins, bagged a big one here. She knows Romford like the back of her hand. And another thing with her, she can cope with various trap draws, Dave.
She can, yeah. As we saw, she was in 4 in that final. And I remember leading up to that final, it was just a case of, you know, we know she can start. Can she get across? And she did so here. She's in Trap 2. She's 6-4. What are your thoughts, Tony?
I'm going to be with her just on the basis I think infield Fifi lacks a yard of early, so I think Fabulous Sonic can boss the inside. I mean, that must be a typo from the track for Tiffield Tarquin. 14.44 split, doing 35.04. Be the best trial I've ever seen. It must be 13.44 for Tiffield Tarquin. Very good trial, without a shadow of a doubt. And he's very interesting, stepping up in distance, he's Roy Peckham's dog. But I just think, again, course knowledge, week in, week out, she tends to bring her A game at Romford, Fabulous Sonique, and I just favoured her in this particular race.
Yeah, good opener, very competitive. Although I've always fancied Tiffield Tarquin as a 5.75 dog at Romford. Quarterfinalist in the Derby. He's a dog that goes quite well fresh as well, particularly at a new track. So they've had the trial. I wouldn't have minded if they'd come without the trial, but as we know, Romford is a place so unique that you've got to at least have a look. I think he'll be all right at Tiffield Tarquin, so he will do for me in heat number 1. Right, heat 2 then, 8:36 on Friday night at Romford. Righty in red at 7-1. Gary the Arb 4-6. Missile 1 4-1. Gothic Kitty 8. New in DJ 8. Tivoli Milo 10-1. We're going to have another look at a bit of VT here. This was last week. Champion Stakes, Trial Stakes. Gary the Arb in trap 4. 35.56. Untold Panga in the red. Bacon Frazzles in 6. We also had Fabulous Sneak in 2 and Missile 1 in 3. So it was a good race last week, but this dog for Belinda Green is on fire at the moment. He's running ever so well.
Yeah, he's back to his very best as well. I mean, he had some solid form to his name early in his career over 4 bends. I remember he won that stake at Toaster, and since then that was sort of the stepping stone for him to bring consistency to his game. Connections decided to step him up to an easy 6 bends, and he's another one that thrives over course and distance. And the beauty of him, Dave, he can lead from the front and come from just off the pace. So he's got it all, Gary the Arb.
Yeah, what is a little bit frightening about him is we've seen he does have got a smash break in him. So if he brings that to the table, there's an argument that he's the dog to beat in this competition, because even a New Destiny might struggle to fetch him in, but he doesn't need to lead. He's 4-6 here. What are your thoughts on the price and on the race itself?
Yeah, price is poor. I think it's a watching race. I think Gary Arb will do the business, but I couldn't be taking any odds on. I mean, Righty's no back number. He's been there and worn the T-shirt for John Mullins. He's a type of dog that could ping out and be a goalkeeper for Gary the Arb. Gothic Kitty, she thrives at Romford. I know she's dropping back in distance, but shouldn't matter too much for her. But it's just about a clear run. I think if Gary the Arb can get a clear run to the third bend, it'll be difficult to hold.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to make a case for something else. I think probably New in DJ is a little bit too big at 8, but again, not a strong enough view for me to really want to oppose Gary the Arb. I think with a clear run, he'll win. I'm no doubt he'll be in plenty of multiples on a Friday night. So at 4-6, a worthy favourite and gets the vote from both myself and Tony. Heat 3 then, 8.54. And in the red, Aero Pepinello for Richie Taberner, 6-1. New Destiny, anti-post favourite, 2-7. Izzy's Tempin, 6s. Chakra, 20s. Boom Boom Bullet, 20s. Young Velvet, 20-1. No VT here. I mean, we are up to episode 75 here on Off the Leash. And if you've been following along, you've seen plenty of New Destiny. So believe me, you don't need a reminder, but we know how classy she is. I believe this is like her swan song. She has got, I think, 4 Cat 1s to her name already. Might be 5. I apologise if it is 5. I think it's 4. Just an absolute class act. She's obviously been laid out for this event. And I think the first round draw has been quite kind to her.
Yeah, it has, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, she didn't quite live up to expectations in the Empress Stakes at Toaster and was beaten on merit by Vagar in the Stayers Classic at Monmore, but she's just a joy to watch in full flight. Over 50% strike rate. She's just phenomenal. Defending champ. She threatens clocks when everything clicks into place, and I think, as you touched on, this is an ideal heat to be drawn in for New Destiny to strut her stuff.
Indeed. 2-7 then. Have you got a full cast player? I mean, I quite like the top, Aero Pipinillo. You look through his card. He's got some massive clocks on his card. I mean, I remember he'd done a massive run over the 4 bends at Oxford, so he's got pace.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he's going to have to smash out and defend the inside. If he does, New Destiny might have to dig deep in the second half, but I think she can do so. We've seen her come from off the pace on many of an occasion and still win the length of the straight. So, yeah, I think Ferrero Pepinillo, he needs to sort of boss the inside and hope that New Destiny makes an error when challenging.
Okay, 2-7 Jolly there, shortest price favourite in the first round. Let's move on to Heat 4 then. 9-11 at Romford. Whitewood Libra on the inside, 10-1. Centre Mac 12s. Droopy's all the way, the Puppy Cup runner up 15-8. Strathranock 5-2. Bacon Frazzles 10. And Tax Evader is 2-1 around the outside. Another runner for Roy Peckham there in the stripes. We are going to look at Droopy's all the way. Now, this was quite a good race. Droopy's Invent was in this race as well, incredibly still a maiden. This was the Coral Maiden Stayers last week. Droopy's all the way, stepping up in trip, did the business, 35.54 out of track 1. Droopy's Invent in 3, Crosswell Roger in 4. A really, really nice type, this one, Tony. You obviously put this one up as the danger, if you like, to Magical Luca in the Puppy Cup. He was the danger. He finished second. It wasn't to Magical Luca, but a bold showing, and they've already pushed the button and stepped him up in trip.
Yeah, owned by Kern Russian, obviously SpaceJet owner. He always has an above average type as Kern, and I think Connections will be delighted. He made a winning debut at Hove and then just didn't really come forward as Connections might have hoped, but he fared much better when finishing second in that Puppy Cup, and I think the decision to step him up was probably right, and it was proved right by this victory. The sectional was there, and there's clearly more to come from the dog. The Strath Rannoch impressed in a prep race for Irene Barnard last time out, but I know Tax Evader lacks a look round, but I don't know. I just think that he might be the answer to this race. I mean, some dogs can take the Romford first time. I just thought Bacon Frazzles lacked the yard of early, so Tax Evader, if he can come away half decent, he might get the run of the race out wide.
So are you going more trap 6 then, Tony? Are you Tax Evader?
Tax Evader for me, yeah.
Okay, right. So I am going to go with Droopy's all the way down the centre. I was quite taken by the maiden stayers and can only come forward as well. If you can finish second in a Puppy Cup, I think you've just about got enough about you to hold your own early doors. And I think this dog will only improve and strengthen up the more he runs over the 5.75. So I'm going to go with Droopy's all the way. Let's go to Heat 5 then, which is an absolute belter. Untold Panga in the red here, 9-2. This is the 9.28 at Romford on Friday night. Droopy's Invent, 13-2. Kilmore Dancer, 8-13. Then we've got Maleficent 33s, Moving Force 13-2, Swift Depot 13-2 as well. No VT here, but we have got an odds-on favourite, Kilmore Dancer. What say you, Mr. Bullen?
Again, I couldn't take odds on Kilmore Dancer. He's a fast dog. He's a dog that can quicken up at any stage. Chased home Chelm's Bear in that Birmingham Cup final at Nottingham. He finally got it right over course and distance in August. It suffered a shock reversal in a maiden prior to that, but it shows you how quick he is when everything clicks for Kilmore Dancer. But I think he's going to have to come from off the pace here, Dave. 2-1 could easily squeeze one up on the inside. So Kilmore Dancer's going to have to probably track cleverly early doors. If there was any inside crowding, I suppose Moving Force and even Swift Depot come into the equation. But I just think that Kilmore Dancer's one of those dogs that he can move through the gears at any stage of a race, and that will serve him well.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same, and I'm exactly the same on the price as well. I mean, I looked at the prices for this race. I thought, do you know what? Like the pair of them at 13-2, I could probably back 2 and 5 here and hope to maybe steal a march on Kilmore Dancer. We know he's the fastest dog in this race. And of course, Droopy's Invent is proving very frustrating, which is, you know, a bit of a strange thing to say about a dog that finished third in the Regency, but still a maiden. And I just fancy, just at the prices, that if he was to pop out and take the inside away from Untold Panga, I think he'd make these go. You know, there's definitely a massive run in this dog off the front, but can he do it right in the boxes? He just seems to be stepping out rather than flying out like we'd like him to. So I'm going to take a chance with Droopy's Invent there, try and get the jolly beat. But if you ask me, you know, which dog I think is going to qualify, or most likely to qualify, is going to be the odds-on favourite for sure, Kilmore Dancer, because he doesn't need to lead. Hopefully we can get Droopy's Invent off the front, though. So a bit of juice in the price, I think, of the blue. Right, the sixth and final heat is the 9.46, the last race on the card at Romford on Friday night. Roseville Best on the inside, 14s. Then we've got Kevin's Rocket, 100-30, 2 right 5s. Droopy Standby, 10s. New in Cloud, 6-5. And Brigadier Brindle at 7-2 in the stripes. Now, New in Cloud, the favourite in 5, won for champion trainer Mark Wallace. Grand Prix third, and Essex Vars runner-up as well over course and distance. So sets the standard, a worthy favourite, but is the 5 your pick here, Tony? Who are you going for?
Yeah, as you just touched on, he's done really well in competitions. He's new in Cloud. He's shown himself to be a competition dog, and he is the one to beat. He impressed at Yarmouth recently. But I like Kevin's Rocket here. I mean, I think 1 and 3 lack a vital yard of early to the turn. I think if Kevin's Rocket can get on the bunny, I think that might be good enough. I think he might be able to defend the lead and open up a winning advantage.
Yes, I think it looks a massive price at 100 to 30 as well. I think this dog looks set to lead, and that will do for me. So, yeah, 2 strong votes for Trap 2 there, Kevin's Rocket. Right, let's have a look at the outright market then. 575 metres, 3 rounds of racing, 5 to 2 New Destiny, 9 to 2 Kilmore Dancer, 6 is Gary the Arb, Tiffield Tarquins at 10s, Fabulous Sneak 14s, Missile 1 16s, 18 to 1 bar the rest. New Destiny, we know she sets the standard. She's won multiple Cat 1s over the 575 at Romford as well. What about the price, Tony, and what is your view?
Yeah, I think she'd have been under 2 to 1, like 6 to 4, 7 to 4. I would have turned my nose up, but I think around the 5 to 2, the way the draw's worked out, I think she's guaranteed to be in the semi-final draw for next week, and we know how quick she can do the clock. So, as much as she's short enough, and it is 3 rounds at Romford, I think she's virtually in the semi-finals, Dave. So, I'll be with the defending champ.
Yeah, because, I mean, I agree with you. 2 to 7 for her semis we've already sort of looked at. We expect her to do, let's say she does, 35-10, wins. She's not going to be 5 to 2 next week to win it, is she?
No, exactly that. She should have been 7 to 4, 13 to 8. I would have scrunched my nose up and probably looked for a bit of value. But 5 to 2, I think that's reasonable for a bitch who's tried and tested.
Right, I'm going to look a little bit further afield, a little bit more adventurous. Dog I've already mentioned, Tiffield Tarquin. Yeah, as I've said, I've always fancied this dog as a 575 dog at Romford. Quarterfinalist in the Derby, not too many wide seeds about here. You could do a lot worse than just tackling cat ones and just looking at the makeup, rails, middles and wides. And if, you can find a wide seed in any competition that you think's probably going to go deep, because of how the draws now work, Tiffield Tarquin's probably going to get 6 next week, and should he get to the final, I think he'll get 6 there as well. It could be the only wide in. So at 10 to 1, I'll take a chance. Looks a solid each way play. I think he'll be fine. Good trial. First race over the 575 in his opening round heat. But I fancy him to score. So I'm going to go with him at 10 to 1 in this year's Premier Greyhound Racing Champion Stakes, which kicks off on Friday night. Live, of course, on PGR. I'll be able to watch that. Hopefully it'll be on Sky Sports Racing, behind the red button on Virgin Media, not Sky Sports Racing anymore. And of course on the PGR stream as well. The link to that will be in the description below. Right, the Bitches Classic on Friday night at Dunstall Park, Wolverhampton Racecourse. All eyes are going to be on the Irish Raider, the Irish sensation, the Irish Puppy Oaks winner, Droopy's Kathleen, who of course smashed the track record at Shelbourne Park for the 525 last year. She is back. I have spoken to her trainer, Robert Gleeson. He told me that she was very tired after her trial, which is understandable because it was her second 4-bend spin in 6 months. But she's been checked out. They're very happy. And we are talking about an Irish Derby winning trainer here who knows the time of day. So he's happy. She's galloped well at home and ready to rumble. He did tell me that Friday's not the final and they're just open to qualify. But brilliant to see her travelling over, Tony. She's kind of one of the biggest names in the sport after what she did last year at Shelbourne Park. And she sets the standard here. Of course, we'll go through the market shortly, but brilliant to see Robert Gleeson travelling over, and a man who knows what to do when travelling over as well. We saw that Droopy's Deploy winning the Northern Puppy Derby up at Newcastle. He's not travelling to make up the numbers.
No, her presence, no disrespect to the others, but her presence really makes this a fascinating Oaks. I mean, she's just different speed. I mean, you don't do 27.58 at Shelbourne Park. That's just absolutely astonishing. I know she comes into the event fresh, but that trial was highly satisfactory compared to what we've seen go round. Yeah, I personally think if she's gonna win the Oaks, I think she'll win it unbeaten, Dave, because you just feel if she doesn't win every round, something's gonna miss, or she's missed the break badly, or
That's how good she is, yeah.
that's how good she is. When she does the business, she does the business in style. She's like Ronnie O'Sullivan, clears the table and does a 147 in 5 minutes. So, as much as she's priced accordingly, I just think her presence fascinating. It's surprising that a few trainers haven't had a look round. I mean, I'd like to have a look round. This is a new venue.
Yeah.
I'd have at least tried to get a look round for me, hopeful. But I do think she's the one to beat. But the value's not there whatsoever. And as much as she's brilliant, I couldn't be taking no short prices around a venue that we're still learning about.
We are indeed. Let's have a look at the market then. There is £20,000 up for grabs. It was a 72 runner stake, 65 entries though, and we've already touched on how busy the calendar is at a new track. Martin Sill, racing manager at Dunstall Park, absolutely delighted with the level of interest. 65 entrants. There'll be 12 first round heats on Friday night, a few with vacant boxes, of course, 7 with only 5 runners in to make up the 65. But let's have a look at the market then. Droopy's Kathleen, 6-5 favourite. Strike It Sky, who incidentally posted exactly the same time as Droopy's Kathleen. They are the two grounds that have posted the fastest time, whether it be in a trial or a race. I think it was 27.82 over the 480 at Dunstall Park. So the pair of them set the standard. Strike It Sky, 6-1. Fabulous Aria, 14s. Mina Minx, 16s. Ray Bella Bullet, 16s. Slick Skylark, 16s, and 18-1 bar. Before I get your view, Tony, I'll just chuck in that I did speak to the racing manager, Martin Sill, and he gave a mention to Strike It Sky, of course, with her trial, but also Ray Bella Bullet, he was very impressed by as well, who is very, very lightly raced, and 16-1 could look massive in a couple of weeks' time. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm basing my theory on what I've seen of the racing at Dunstall Park. You want a fast starting rails to middle for me, and something with good early pace. And at the prices, I'm going to take a chance with Paradise Sky. Brian Thompson's bitch suited to Monmore, which is the Speed 4 Benz. Got 28.06 back in August with an electric start. I thought the trial was pleasing, considering she's had to come from off the pace in that trial. I had the sprint trial as well. I think she looks a good thing in her heat on Friday, so she can get her campaign off with a win. But yeah, it all depends what Droopy's Kathleen turns up. If the Droopy's Kathleen brings the Irish form to the table, the others are playing for places, even though, as you touched on, Strike It Sky and Ray Bella Bullet are progressive.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. And I mean, even if you take this competition as the jolly's already over the line, some of the prices on showy, I mean, you're putting up Paradise Goes 33-1. I'm going to put up a couple of massive prices. If you can get second, third, or fourth, due to the each way terms, I'll be quite happy with that. One of the grounds I'm putting up is 100-1. So that's like having a 25-1 winner. I agree with everything you've said, Tony. Early pace railer looks the call. So I'm going to put up 2 stayers each way. We're going to have to try and come from off the speed, but I've just been reeled in, I think, by the prices. First one is a Romford Raider. Bitch who's quite lightly raced in recent weeks, but I do think she's got a touch of class about her, and she's got the fast start and a bit of early about her, and that's Droopy's Rosie for Maxine Locke. We've seen do some brilliant runs. Vic dipped inside 35 seconds for the 5.75 at Romford. She's coming into it relatively fresh. I think she got beat last week, but she showed up quite well early on. And I think she's got battling qualities to keep qualifying. So she's 66-1. And then my 100-1 poke is Make It Mead, who was runner-up in the Grand Prix up at Sunderland behind New Destiny. And a ground has she's been ticking over 4 and 6 bends up north. She's in good hands. And again, she's got a big engine. So where we might come unstuck is the format of this competition is obviously, we've got 65, but it's 72 into 36 into 18. And the semi-finals will be the crunch time. It'll be only first 2 go through from the 3 semi-finals. So they're my 2, 66s and 100s. Paradise Sky for Tony, probably a little bit more sensible at 33s, but I'm just reeled in by the prices. Let us know in the comments below who you fancy as well in this year's Premier Greyhound Racing Oaks. The Bitches Classic and a new track, Dunstall Park, kicks off on Friday night. Right then, we go from one big competition to another, which is the theme this week. Saturday night, and this is going to be an absolute belter, the £20,000 Premier Greyhound Racing Kent Derby. And we have a market headed by an Irish raider, Bombay Pat, for Graham Holland, who we've seen reach Derby finals at electric early pace, this dog. I'll spin through the runners and the market. 11-4 Bombay Pat, 9-2. The Derby champion, Droopy's Plunge, 9-2. This is a ground that won a Greyhound Derby, 9-2. Romeo Alliance, 6-1. Romeo Tomcat, 6-1. Headford Dane, 7-1. Not so steady, 14s and 16s. Bar. So the market is Graham Holland, Patrick Janssens, Maxine Locke, and Patrick Janssens. The Belgian handler has got some team, Tony, but not the favourite.
No, I mean, well, Bombay Pat, I mean, again, he's Irish Derby finalist, English Derby finalist, moved well enough in a recent prep trial. He's a worthy favourite, but this is some event. I mean, and again, it's good that it hasn't suffered through the congestion in the calendar. A lot of these dogs are taken in the 491 metres at Central Park, which is a nice. I've always liked Central Park. Yeah, it's going to be some event. This is.
Yeah, an absolute belter. I'm going to row straight in. I'm going with Droopy's Plunge here. 9-2 about a Derby champion who's been laid out for this event. Patrick Janssens has had all sorts of options with this dog. He swerved the Irish Derby. That at one point was in their thoughts. But I think he is tailor-made for stiff four bends, which will get down at Central Park, 491 metres. I think he doesn't need to lead. He can lead. And we saw in that Derby final that this dog will run for a brick wall. So at 9-2, I'm going to row straight in. No each way, just win with a Derby champion, Droopy's Plunge at 9-2. What about yourself, Tony?
I'm going to take a chance with Antigua Kestrel at a big price. Kevin Hutton's dog, he's proven over 4 and 6 bends and runs the track really well. He's got some good form to his name at the track. He's got a tough heat in the first round, but I think he's a dog that can keep qualifying. And who knows what happens in the final. But there was an upset in last year's event. I think it was Droopy's Display, one for Maxine Locke. So you just never know. He's quick enough, Antigua Kestrel, but at the prices, I thought he might be one that can keep sneaking into the frame.
Yeah, well-regarded salt as well, Antigua Kestrel. I know Kevin Hutton was absolutely devastated when he crashed out early at the Derby. Remember, he was Kevin Hutton's only runner in this year's Derby, and they had high hopes for him. So, yeah, he's a massive, massive price. I think it's about 22-1. So each way play for Tony. I'm not playing games. We're going win only on the Derby champion, Droopy's Plunge. That is the Kent Derby, and it's an absolute bell. So I'm looking forward to that. Friday night, chock-a-block action, open race action from Romford and, of course, Dunstall Park with those 12 heats of the Oaks. But Saturday night is going to be a belter as well with that action coming from Central Park. And we're not even going to get onto the Steel City Cup, the Bresbet Steel City Cup, which will be on Sunday afternoon at Sheffield, because the draw's not even been done yet. We're recording this on a Wednesday morning, but we will, of course, tackle that on next week's show. It is that time then. Best bets of the week, Tony. Well, we've dovetailed quite nicely in recent weeks. I've wrestled the honour from you, moving force doing the business last week at Romford for me. And I'm going to stick to Romford. I'm going to go with one of the Premier Greyhound Racing Champion Stakes first round heats on Friday night and Roy Peckham's Derby quarterfinalist, Tiffield Tarquin. I've always fancied this dog over the 5.75 at Romford. He's got a nice draw. I think he's going to go deep in the event. Good trial. He's ticking a lot of boxes for me. I think he might just bomb out and make all the run in there. So he goes in the 8.19 at Romford on Friday night. What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I can get the honour. Looking at some of your shots you played with Steve Palmer at the simulator, I should get the honour back. So
Steady.
I'm going to Dunstall Park in the Oaks. It's Droopy's Doris in the 8.47 Heat 10. Held every chance in a trial stake last time out, but that was her first competitive start in a while. Made a real bright start to her career at Oxford. You've got Harlequin Beauty, who's devoid of early pace on the immediate outside. I think she just cracks clear, makes all.
Well, there you go. Simple as that. Two good things, both live on the Premier Greyhound Racing Service this week. Tony, have you got anything else to add? Listen, it is just chock-a-block this week. I'm not sure how we're going to be able to watch it all. Thankfully, you'll, of course, be able to watch all the replays live on the Racing Post Greyhound Bet app. So about 15, 20 minutes after every race, they become available. So there's no excuses to miss any of the action. But we're looking forward to it, right, Tony? Top class racing everywhere you look.
Yeah, it is. It's great racing. As I say, some events are probably going to suffer because you can't be everywhere at once, but it's an opportunity for those to make hay while the others are at play.
Indeed. Right, get involved with us then. Let us know which competition you're looking forward to, who you're backing for both heats and the outright as well. Anyone fancy anything at a huge price here? Some of these skinny price favourites are worth taking on. Surely there's lots of each way juice out there. Get in the comments and let us know. Enjoy the racing, gamble responsibly, and we'll see you next time.